Good morning, everyone, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you into this webinar. I hope you can all hear me. If you can just raise your hand. Okay, so I want first of all to take this opportunity to just apologize for the delay that you have had. However, we can just proceed from now, hoping that we will still be on course in as far as time is concerned. Once again, my name is Betty Simiu. I'm in charge of social impact here at Ed Partners, and I'm very glad to welcome all of you into this webinar. And I'm hoping that as time goes by, we'll continue learning, of course, more to do with how to just enable our school, make our school more visible in our market, in the market that you're marketing our schools. So we started a journey on school branding and marketing webinar. And previously we talked about how we just had a brief introduction on matters to do with school branding and marketing. We mentioned on the importance of taking matters to do with branding and marketing very serious for our schools. And we also even mentioned on a few benefits that will come alongside marketing and also branding our schools. And one of the major impact or benefit that we had mentioned is that when you effectively brand and market your school, then one thing will happen is that it will increase enrollment, because the end goal is for us to have more learners in our school. The end goal is also to sustain the same business or sustain the same school. And the end goal is to make our school known, of course, to the community that we are in, or the area we are in, and also beyond. So today, without any further ado, I will go straight to continuation on the same. And now that we have known why branding our school is important, and the effectiveness of branding the same, or why we need to take it seriously, then today we'll be discussing on how do we go about effective school branding and marketing. Where do we start from? Now that we have known that it should be part of our core or part of our delivery when it comes to, of course, promoting quality education. So how do we go about it? Where do we start from? And the first thing that we need to do is we need to conduct a brand audit. We need to conduct a brand audit in order for us to just evaluate our current situation in as far as our brand visibility is concerned. We need to also assess and to know that the effectiveness in achieving our desired goals. Because if you want to increase enrollment, if you want your brand to be visible, what are other desired goals that are in line with the normal end goal, of which is to increase enrollment? What other desired goals do you have? One of the desired goals that a good director should have is retaining those students or those learners that are currently in your school. In as much as you want to increase enrollment, in as much as you want to increase the number of learners in your school, how are you retaining the ones that you have? And how do you even continue increasing that enrollment and also retaining the ones that you're gaining? Because that is the end desired goal. And then how well is your brand known? How well is your school known? And in as far as people know, your school is known at whatever boundaries, be it local, national, international, or even just beyond the community or the area where your school is. How do you want your audience to know to know about your school? What do you want to be known for? Is it your extracurricular activity? Is it your performance? Is it the beauty, the aesthetic of the school, the beauty of the school? Is it probably in terms of your meals? Do you offer very good meals that will help students or retain the learners in your school? So you have to know what do you want to achieve What is your desired goals before you start conducting this brand audit? So how do you even go about conducting a brand audit? Number one, first you assess the current state of your school's brand. Get to understand what is your unique selling point. We have talked about this on our previous engagement. What are your unique selling point? Establish, do you even have a logo? Do you have a standard topography? Do you have a standard colors? When someone sees that colors from afar, they automatically know that these colors represent the schools. Have you crafted a compelling brand? Do you have an identity? What is your brand communicating? What is your brand? What do people perception do people have in regards to your school? So you have to know, where are we right now as a school in terms of visibility, in terms of us being known, in terms of us, of the enrollment. Where are we? And then from there, you analyze the perception of your brand. And the major stakeholders for schools, of course, for any school, any school or any brand school, there are three major stakeholders. That is the learners themselves or the students, the parents, of course we have the teachers, and the community or the people around the area of that school. So you want to know, what do people know you for? What do learners know you for? And what do even parents know you for? What do they identify you with? And then number three, you also need to do a SWOT analysis related to your brand. What are your strengths? You have to understand what makes us stand out, what makes us being appreciated, what makes us get known, and then understand what are your weaknesses. Where are we lagging behind in as far as marketing and branding is concerned about our schools? And then you also need to understand what opportunities do we have. And when you look at opportunities, you look at opportunities, of course, within your community and even wider, or within your vicinity or your area where your school is located, and even wider. Do you even want to attract learners from different, probably estates that are just near within your schools, or even different locations, different locations? So you have to understand, what are the opportunities do you have? And if you want to diversify just beyond your locality, then what else am I supposed to do? Do I need probably to have an additional for the transport, offer transport facility to just bring these learners to schools? Or what do I need? Do I need to have a boarding facility probably to accommodate these learners? Because you're assessing that, what opportunities do I have also to make my brand known, and at the end of it all, to increase enrollment. And then you'll also want to know, what are the threats? What are the threats related to this brand, my school brand? What is it that is making me not sustainable? What is it that will make me lose these learners? And what is it that will make me also lose the teachers that I have? So understand, what are the threats around it? What will make me not to be appreciated by the people within the locality where my school is, or even the community? So if you have a clear SWOT analysis of your school, and when you get to understand what are your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threat, you will get to know how you can maximize on your strengths to increase enrollment and even retain the learners that you have. You will know what your weaknesses are, so that you see what areas you can improve in. You can also get to understand what opportunities do you have for you to grab and explore to increase your learners, and of course ensure there is retention. And over and above, you get to understand what are the threats related to my school, or even related to the industry, that will make you probably have a way of mitigating or even avoiding these threats at all costs. So if you have a clear SWOT analysis of your school, then it will give you a clear guide on how you will achieve your desired goal. And then once in a while, it's good to also get feedback, get data to inform your branding strategies. Not every branding or marketing strategies will suit with your school, or even with the learners within your locality. For example, if you want to use media to market your school, probably a TV advert, are you even ready for it? You know, what is the desired effect? What is the desired goals for that? So when you get feedback, when you just collect feedback, of course, you can start with the learners themselves. Then go to the teachers, then go to the parents, get to understand where are we going wrong or what are we doing right, and getting to know how do you maximize on the good right things that you're doing, and what other bad effects or negative effects are we having, so that we can also improve on that. And that, of course, will inform what strategy we can use to effectively market our school in order to increase enrollment. Another thing is that once you have conducted an audit, you have to know to define your target audience. So if you're trying to define your target audience, I've mentioned earlier that the key major stakeholders for any kind of school are one, the students or the learners themselves, parents, the staff, and the local community. Those are the major ones. However, it's something probably there are other also stakeholders within the area. You can see that maybe probably administrators in line with education itself, probably from the Ministry of Education, can still be identified as the stakeholders. However, the close ones that you have at that point in time that will help in terms of marketing your schools are these four: the local community or the vicinity that where your school is located, the staff members that you have, including teachers, both non-teaching and teaching staff, the learners or the students that you have, and the parents. So you need to identify your school, where your school is located. Who are these people? How do they look like? It's like you're assessing the demography of the location that you are in. And that you can even inform in matters to do with pricing. If you overprice, if you overprice your fees, and it's not related to the people within your area, because those are the first audience you need to attract, where the school is located, the people around that location. Then you can go as far as you want. So you have to can even inform, how do I structure my fees to suit these people? What activities can I have that will entice these people to come to my school and even give me more referrals? So define your target audience by identifying what kind of, how the behavior of your key stakeholder, the behavior of the learners, the behavior of the parents, the behavior of the staff, and the local community. Number two, understand their needs, preference, and expectation. That is just in line with their behavior. What are their needs? You know, of course, the major need is of course, it's in line with education, giving quality and the best for the learners. However, what are beyond the needs that they have? What are their preferences? Do they prefer a school that probably have a swimming pool or have swimming lessons? Will they prefer a school that probably has offer meals? You know, do they prefer a school that has a bus, has a good transport system? Will they prefer a school that offer extracurricular activity like probably taekwondo? What do they want? What are their preferences? Do they just want a school that looks good aesthetically, have very nice colors with very nice decorations, or has a good plain ground? You know, all those things. Get to understand their preference. And how do you understand their preference? Whenever you receive inquiry, it's good to have a feedback form where you collect those details of of what the parents are asking for. Probably they'll come and ask, do you offer meals other than the normal education that you offer? What extra do you have? Note them down. And then at the end of it all, assess what are most within the inquiries that you're receiving. What are most of these parents asking for? And then maximize on that. Maximize on that in order now to attract even more of learners and parents that have that preferential need. And then also look at what are their expectations. At the end of it all, what do they want to achieve? What is their desired goal in as far as their children is concerned? Are they keen on performance, or do they want a holistic kind of a student, or of a learner, or of a child? Do they want a child who is probably very good in academic than other extracurricular activity? Is it that this parent has identified that my child has a specific talent and is looking for a school where my child can be nurtured in as far as this talent is concerned? Maybe my child is very good in music. Okay, so I'm looking for a school that, in as far as they're offering education, then I'll also want a school that has music lessons that can help my child, can nurture my child in as far as her talents or his talents are concerned. So understand their needs. Get to understand, in as far as their need, of course, is a good education for their children. What are their preferences? When you get to understand their preference, then get to know what are their expectations. How do you get this? Always have an inquiry form, either be it on website or just at your office desk at the reception, or when you're doing your door-to-door kind of marketing, always issue that form or gather such kind of information that will inform you on what to probably do next. Number 3, then you have the aspect of tailoring brand and marketing effort to resonate with your target audience. As I earlier mentioned, not every marketing strategy will resonate to your target audience. You might choose to go to the media, and probably maybe the audience that you have, the parents that you have, they probably don't watch that specific TV channel. You're getting it. If you might choose to opt for a maybe newspaper advertisement, but how many people buy newspapers? So get to understand, if you understand your audience, then you will get to understand which strategy and affordable strategy in that matter will resonate with them. And then number 3, now you have conducted your audit, you have defined your target audience, then craft a compelling school story. Come up with a good, clear, authentic narrative for your school. You know, if you, other than being told, you want to also read about it. If it's something to do with performance that you guys are good at, make sure your compelling story, in as far as you mentioned that the school has been in existence for this long, this is what you're good for. Make sure your school authentic story is related to what your school is good at. If your performance have been good for the last 5 years, please maximize on that. Make sure that is communicated frequently and it's communicated authentically, clearly in all your stories, your narrative, that for the past 5 years, we have emerged the top probably nationwide, we have emerged the top within this area, or with this county, within this region. Make sure that narrative is always presented in all your materials. Number 2, highlight the school unique qualities, achievement, and values. So what are your qualities? What are your unique qualities? What is making your school stand out other than the rest? What have you achieved? Did you emerge probably top in the music festival, or maybe sports, or maybe academic performance? Have you been recognized for a specific award? Make sure that that one has been communicated. Those high qualities, that unique qualities and achievements that you have, it's communicated. And then what are your values? What are your values as a school? Do you believe probably in integrity, talents, or maybe respect, or obedience? Those values that you feel like it's key for your schools, have them highlighted everywhere. There are people who start highlighting them from the gate to all their classes, to the walls of their classes, in everywhere where there's a space where they can write. Even in the field, they have signages hanging all around, indicating what they believe in, their values, what is their mission. Make sure that is communicated clearly. And then also incorporate storytelling into marketing materials and communication. When I talk about incorporating storytelling into your marketing materials and communication, that means you need to have at least a success story written somewhere about your school. In this sense, if you have an alumni or a parent who has achieved, who has seen the journey of the child grow in that school. Let them write a story. Let them write a story about it. That is what we call testimonial or client or customer success stories, or parent success stories, learner success stories. Even staff, they can write their own success stories about this school. Probably when I came to this school, this child was at this level. Right now, I've completed, and this is what I've achieved. I've joined a good school. Or right now, I'm in the university, but my foundation started from this school. Or right now, I'm working at this place. I've grown, I'm now working at this place, but I started my foundation from this school. Make sure some of this, it doesn't have to be really a long paragraph or a whole A4 story kinda, but just 2 paragraphs or a short paragraph highlighting of such kind of success stories. Let people talk about you. Allow them to talk about you. Use them to market you, those testimonials. So when you incorporate storytelling into your marketing materials and such kind of success stories from the customers, from the learners, from the parents, from even the local community, if there's something you've done for the community, you helped in planting a tree, or you've even supported a learner in terms of maybe as a corporate social responsibility, there's a learner you're sponsoring in your school, or a few students you're sponsoring in your school. Make sure that it's incorporated as a compelling story to just help market your school. And then also, you have to come up with effective communication strategies. You need to understand now, how do I effectively communicate to the current audience that I have? That is probably the current parents and the current learners that I have in my school. How do I communicate? How do I come up with an effective communicating strategy to also communicate to the prospects, or the learners that I'm anticipating to join my school, or the parents that I'm anticipating to allow their children to join my school? What are the communication strategies I shall have to even communicate to the community? So you have to focus on both internal and external stakeholders. So develop a plan that can help you communicate effectively. And when I say just communication, it's just not any kind of communication. It should be effective communication, very clear, very elaborate, articulate, and straight to the point. That is you can easily get to know what is this person trying to achieve at the end of it all. Is this person trying to woo me to bring my child to that school, or they just want me to know that there's a school that exists within this local area, so what I can do, I can bring more, I can bring referrals. So get to understand or develop a communication plan. Number 2, utilize various channels. You can utilize various channels for communication. The biggest one, other than emails, because probably most people might not read emails, it's good to have a bulk SMS or a way of sending SMS to the current parents that you're having for your school at the moment. If there's any kind of changes that you're making that might affect the parents and the learners, get to communicate effectively, probably through a bulk SMS. Send a bulk SMS, find a way, look at even the timing that you're communicating. If there's anything that you'll be effecting probably next month, or in terms of, it could be probably in terms of pricing. How do you engage the parents such that they have a buy-in for the same, so that it doesn't look like they say mmekuja na kifua or something. The schools are opening next month, or the schools are opening tomorrow, and you're telling the parent today that, we have increased our fees. So how do you effectively communicate and engage the customers to help to communicate such kind of changes? If you're having an achievement that has been done, how do you also craft a compelling message to communicate to the parents that this is good news that our school has emerged the top here and here? How do you come up with such? You can also have a newsletter. A newsletter doesn't have to be very big. It can just be one page to communicate to the parents and even the larger audience on the major achievements that you have had within either that term or within that year or within that month. So newsletter can be termly, it can be monthly, it can be weekly, depending on how you want it to be. You know, just to tell them that and have nice, compelling, nice pictures that will show this is what they were doing, this is where they visited, they go to for a tour in the Nakuru or Nairobi Orphanage or whatever it is. You know, this is what happened to our learners. And this is good because now, if you have a newsletter, what happens? It can even go overboard. It doesn't have necessarily to be even use it internally. You can even share it widely. You can even have WhatsApp. If you craft such kind of, having such kind of newsletters or any messages, how many WhatsApp contacts do you have? There are so many, right? Most people have so many. That is the one first audience that you need to target. When you blast such kind of message to all your WhatsApp groups that you are in, or all your WhatsApp contact, then that would give you a mileage. If you have a communication, probably, and SMSs can be expensive. We already have WhatsApp groups where schools have WhatsApp parents been in the group, or different schools have a way of having probably class 3 parents of this school in one WhatsApp group, then and subsequent, of course, to the other classes. Yeah? So that is also an effective way of communication, because even people see WhatsApp messages more than bulk SMS. So, and then also always have a strategy in communicating crisis. What I mean with communicating crisis, sometimes things just happen in our schools that might affect how we are known for. For example, there could be an outbreak of a specific maybe disease or a specific ailment in your school, and it's something, and it becomes a whole crisis. How do you communicate this without causing unnecessary panic or unnecessary havoc? Okay, maybe it could be, God forbid, you have seen this happening. Maybe a child has passed on in school. Of course, God forbid. How do you communicate such kind of crisis that will not bring havoc, of course, within the school, that's the internal stakeholders, within the community, even within the community administration, and going beyond Ministry of Education, until it becomes an issue where it's attracting the